Helpings for the Heart. It is written founder George Vandeman's favorite stories. A Chain Reaction. May 21st, 1946. The place, Los Alamos, New Mexico, at the dawning of the nuclear age. Louis Slotin, a daring young Canadian scientist, was carrying out delicate experiments with uranium. He was helping prepare for the second atomic bomb test that was to be carried out in the waters of Bikini Atoll in the South Pacific. Slotin needed to determine exactly the amount of U-235 necessary for a chain reaction. Scientists called it the critical mass. Slowly, he pushed together 2 hemispheres of uranium. Then, just as the material became critical, he pushed them apart with an ordinary screwdriver, thus instantly stopping the chain reaction. He did this many times. But on this day, just as the mass became critical, Slotin's screwdriver slipped. Instantly, the room was filled with a dazzling bluish haze. Other scientists present jumped back in horror. But instead of ducking and perhaps saving himself, Slotin tore the 2 hemispheres apart with his bare hands. The chain reaction was interrupted. By this instant, self-forgetful act of courage, Slotin saved the lives of the 7 other persons in the room. He realized that he himself had been exposed to a lethal dose of radiation, but he retained his presence of mind. He shouted to his colleagues to stand exactly where they were at the moment of the accident. He then drew on a blackboard a sketch of everyone's relative position. This would enable doctors later to discover the degree of radiation each man had absorbed. A few moments later, Slotin stood by a roadside, waiting with another scientist for the car that was to rush them both to a hospital. Quietly, Slotin assured his companion, "You'll come through all right, but I haven't the faintest chance myself." That proved only too true. 9 days later, Louis Slotin died in agony. Some 2,000 years ago, the Son of the living God walked directly into sin's deadliest radiation. He allowed himself to be touched by its curse. The accumulated guilt of the ages released its deadly contamination over Calvary. The Savior died in agony, but by his sacrifice he broke the chain reaction and destroyed the curse of sin.